What's up? How you doing? Here we are, Monday. Today is beautiful. There's a breeze going by, but it's very tropical. It's almost like Hawaiian air. So we're gonna make some souvlaki chicken. Have the skewers here. They're nice and wet, so they don't burn up as easily. Eventually they will, but have a cutting board here, knife, leather sheath, full tang. And I have the chickens right here. So, one of my favorite shows is on right now. Not right now, but it's on. Alone. I love Alone. I saw it last night for the first time, new season. Poor guy lost his arrows. You know, I mean, that should not send him home. There's other ways to get food, but I know he was counting on those arrows. That's tough. I remember Joe Robinette. A few years ago, he lost his ferro rod. Couldn't start a fire. Had to go home. You should have a backup with the fire. You know, backup plan. I know they don't allow matches, things like that, but maybe you got to figure out the friction method. I'd like to go on that show. You know, give it a shot. I could go for a while. That's the problem, you know. I would never on my own. There would have to be something very wrong, you know, like maybe I broke my femur, or I lost my kneecap, something like, you know, seriously wrong for me to call them up. If it's the fact that I can't find food, I don't know, I wouldn't really call them up for that. But I'm fascinated with that show. I love it. Kind of reminds me of what it would feel like to be on an uninhabited island. I'm going to cut these pieces a little bit smaller. Been getting feedback from the kitchen inside. People inside, one of them thinks the pieces I cut are a little bit too big. So I'm going to cut them smaller. Alright, I'm back. I had to go inside and get another memory card. My other one filled up. I didn't realize I had not deleted a lot of stuff in a while. So I'm using another card now. Anyway, what was I talking about? Dolphins? Something like that. I don't know. So yeah, very intelligent animals, these dolphins. But, you know, they don't make good pets. Rather have a dog. Candy Corso. Very hungry. I didn't eat lunch. I usually don't eat lunch, but I don't know. Good chicken. Very fresh. Every once in a while, I'm walking around and a breeze shows up, and it makes it feel like it's 1974, 73, around there. I remember one time when I was a kid, my father called up one of his brothers who claimed to know how to fix cars. came over and they were out on the front of the house there. I remember it was fall time, and they were working on the motor, the engine. I had a beige jacket on, and I know it was fall time. I remember the leaves were turning, but it had that nice fresh smell in the air, you know, ionized air. My daughter.
I did it.
What?
Look. Wait. Look.
Right.
I can do it now.
Chinese balls. They're, you know, good hand-eye coordination, and they're supposedly relaxing, right? They even have a little bell in there or something. It sounds like maybe you're hitting a xylophone. Never understood why they couldn't spell xylophone with just a Z.
Because it, or it starts with an E. Xylophone.
Yeah, I mean, why is an X sound a Z sound? Don't they already have a Z?
You could have spelled it like this: EXZLPHOYONE.
Right. You don't spell zebra with an X.
But the pronunciation is different.
Never understood that, why they spell xylophone with an X. Did somebody sit there and say we have way too many words that start with Z? We need another letter. Somebody said, why don't we do like a cross thing and put it on its side and make a Z sound? I don't really use I don't use X that often. X-ray, X-rated, ex-girlfriend, right? What else is X? Then everything else, you put an E at the front. A lot of weird stuff lately with the aliens, UFOs, and stuff like that. That thing in Vegas, dude calls the cops. Tells the cops some kind of crash in his backyard, and then says some non-human beings were walking around the backyard. They were about 10 feet tall. I don't know. Is that believable? I don't think so. I mean, it's possible, but first of all, what crashed? Where's the object that crashed? Everybody went looking for it. Nobody found anything. So, you know. And the other thing is, we all have cell phones now with cameras. And I know the dude said he froze, but no pictures, nothing. I understand in the 70s, the 60s, 50s, not many people walked around with cameras. But nowadays, you know, you see something like that, immediately you pull out the camera. You pull out the camera for stupid things. You're not going to pull it out for an alien. So I have a hard time believing that. I mean, I don't know. Impossible to believe. I would have been taking video of that, pictures. I would have been posing with it. And then what happened to the you know, whatever it was that crashed? That disappeared. And then the other thing with these things, am I to believe that there's intelligent life out there that's capable of traveling across the galaxy or wherever they're coming from, across the universe, and then once they get here, they crash? I don't know. You'd think something that advanced would have beaten the crash syndrome. They wouldn't crash anymore. Be like we used to crash about 1 million years ago, but we have sophisticated AI now, then we don't crash anymore. These things still crash. They get here and they've traveled forever because there's nothing around here that we can pick up life on. And then once they get here, they crash into somebody's backyard. How ridiculous does that sound? Or does that sound? Very, very ridiculous. And then what? They take off on foot? Because this guy said that they had a big mouth and big feet. Oh, maybe they saw Bigfoot. I hope these things are real. I'll be the first one to go on the spaceship and go for a ride. I would not be scared. I would go in. Well, you'd be nervous a little bit. You don't know what they're gonna do, but I would think something traveling that far would be here on a scientific mission. You know, or maybe not. Maybe they're here to eat us. Got a few in there. I should put these in. Let them marinate for 7 hours. But yeah, I'm always looking at the universe at night. I don't know. To me, it's a strange thing. Here we are. We exist in it. We barely know anything about it, as if we're strangers visiting our own, our own place. We don't know anything about it. Up until a few years ago, like we didn't even know much about the body, the human body, and that's us. And here we are. We pop up. And we exist in this weird place called the universe for billions and billions and billions of years. You have no idea about this place, and then you're conceived, and here you are, and now you have all this curiosity. It's almost like we're not the prime reality. Like there's a prime reality, and then there's us, and we're like the sideshow. I always wonder, what is the universe held in? What's it expanding into? And when they say infinite, there's got to be something it's expanding into. Infinite is what you say when you don't have a good answer. It's infinite. I think that's it. No. Yeah, infinite. It's like the scientists got together and they said, somebody says to you, what's the universe expanding into? Tell them it's expanding into nothing. It's creating whatever it's going into as it's going into it, and it's infinite at the same time. Just say a lot of nonsense like that and confuse them. There's got to be something out there that the universe is expanding into. And if you could travel, say you could travel 1 billion or 1 trillion times the speed of light, eventually you would bump into something that the universe hasn't reached yet. And then of course the question is, what comes after that, and what comes after that, and after that, and it's like a non-ending thing. But I think about the universe reality, that we live in all the time. Where did the matter that makes up the universe come from? And if it always existed, that's pretty strange too, right. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna skewer. So anyway, yeah, talking about the universe. I'm interested in real answers. Right now, we barely know anything. I know it seems like we know a lot, but not really. Not really. We're still, you know, we're still in a very big mystery here. And I'm not interested in ancient man's mythologies to explain the universe. That doesn't fascinate me. I'm interested in what's really going on, not some ancient man's nonsense. So ever since I was little, I would look at the sky at night, especially in a dark location, and I was always like thinking, what is going on here? You know, who are we, and you know, where did all this come from? And the big question, where is all the other intelligent life forms out there? Or where are they? Where are they? And I truly believe that there has to be something that, you know, is out there that's kind of like us, maybe better, hopefully better, you know, and hopefully more advanced. You know, want to run into something. I mean, it still would be interesting if you ran into a life form that was thousands of years more primitive than us. But even more fascinating would be if we found something out there that was millions of years ahead of us. You know, that would, you know, that would really, really capture the imagination. I mean, we're what we are at this point, and we've only been messing around with technology for about 150 years, if that. You imagine some kind of species out there that has been technologically advanced for 1,000,000 years. Just think of all the research in 1,000,000 years time, and where we would be right now. We would be so advanced. Teleportation, building artificial planets, who knows? 1,000,000 years is a long time. I mean, look what we've done in 100 years. Just think 100 years ago, 1923, what kind of technology was around, and look at now. And these things these things just grow exponentially. I mean, once you figure one thing out, you know, the puzzle pieces start to fall into place. But I would love to know what the universe is held inside of. What is it expanding into, if it is expanding? And then where are, I don't know why I keep saying is, but where are all the advanced civilizations out there? And Mama's boy going home to Mama, cook him a home cooked meal. Anyway, yeah, I would love to discover some kind of alien life out there. I mean, people are fascinated if they discover some kind of microscopic life, because that would show that we're not the only ones, you know, that have life. But very, very strange. And like I said, we barely know a thing. Forget about our mythologies, forget about, you know, the science we know, because we're in the primitive stages. I mean, if you really think about it, we know very little. You know, and what annoys me more than anything is when people take mythologies and use those to explain away the world. This is how it happened according to this story. No. That's not how it happened. Those are not satisfying stories. Got a lot of food here. Like I said, I cut them small so they cook faster, and they're not, bulky. If Elon Musk called me up and said, hey, you want to go to Mars? I'd go. Even if there was a possibility that I wouldn't come back, I would take the chance. I'd like to come back, but I'd like to see Mars too. Just so many galaxies out there, so many planets, so many stars. There's got to be life beyond ours in different stages of development. But so far we hear crickets. Once we break that though, then you'll hear, oh yeah, there's life everywhere. But yeah, there's all these stories about the government knowing things, capturing, extraterrestrial life forms or spaceships. I hope it's true, but so far I've seen zero evidence, zero credible evidence, like nothing. But I hope it's true. I believe that it's impossible that we're the only ones. The universe keeps repeating itself on other aspects. And am I to believe that when it comes to life, the universe only did it one time? I don't think so. Anyway, I'm gonna cook now, so that's it for now. I may be back, I may not be. Nobody really knows.